there's not many guys you can say can run the floor, shoot the mid, pretty much a 3-level scorer, but weigh like 270 and at 6'8". But Kenny Lofton Jr. is that dude. Kenny Lofton Jr. is actually a big dude who seems to, you would look at him and say, okay, maybe not, But in a league that has the Jokic as almost the face and champion of the league, nothing's impossible. And at this point, Kenny Lofton is looking like a bona fide bucket. Unfortunately, he's on Memphis Grizzlies. So he may not get the same opportunity that we want him to get. But in the time that we do see him, the man is an absolute beast. Man's an absolute stud. And it has been most of his, playing career from collegiate on. So I absolutely, Kenny Lofton Jr. is one of my favorite players. I'm just going to put that out there. Like, he's one of my favorite young players to watch. When I get the chance to see him cook, he just reminds me of Zach Randolph so much. And Zebo was one of my favorite big men. Again, and that comparison is apt because Big Zebo was 6'8", 6'9", a little overweight. Most people would say a little overweight, but there wasn't a lot that Zebo couldn't do. I mean, besides jump really high. Like, Zebo wasn't a jump out the gym type of dude. Like, that ain't gonna happen. And neither is Kenny. Kenny is not going. If Kenny comes out booming like LeBron, test that man. Like, nah, he ain't doing that. But I mean, still, freak athlete. In the sense of, you look at his size, how he moves on the floor. There's a lot of teams that can use that particular player. Now, here's the thing. This is not an anti-Grizzlies video, because I know some people going to be like, why is he talking about him on another team? Let's just be real. Kenny Lofton Jr. has a lot of talent. He looks really good when he gets that opportunity. But the way the league is kind of shaped up, the way that team is kind of shaped, his talent is bigger than the role he's playing. And so right now, if you're a fan of the player and not just a fan of the team, you understand where I'm coming from, because his talent is bigger than his role. He's not a bench player on a lot of teams. So let's just keep it a buck. And this is actually a good thing if you're a Grizzlies fan, because you have a team that's constructed in such a way that you have talent like that on the bench. So this is not a negative conversation. But at the end of the day, he's not going to start on that particular team because of the way they're constructed and what needs to happen. They're constructed for, that starting lineup is constructed for Ja and what Ja can do. And they've done the right thing by having those people there. And then with Marcus Smart and Bane and all that, like, you all have, the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be fine for many years to come. But when it comes down to Kenny Lofton Jr., it's like, hey, how long do you sit there? And ultimately, like, can he be a trade piece for the Grizzlies later if they keep him to do other things? Because, I mean, realistically, let's just keep it a buck. The boy can ball. There are several teams that can use what he does. You can't tell me, hey, listen, the Chicago Bulls need something like that. They need a bulldog, and that's what Kenny Lofton is. 3-level scorer that can sit there, get a bucket, bang in the paint. He can do it all from that perspective. I don't care if he's 6'8", 270. I don't care. Now, I think that's when he first initially came into the league. And when he came into the league, there was concerns there. Don't get me wrong. But this is one of those things where if you watched him in Summer League, if you watch how he's cooked in this Summer League, you watch how he cooked in his limited time on the court last season for the Grizzlies, the boy's a bucket. The boy's a pure bucket. But I want to hear what you all think, man. I want to hear about some of these. I want to put light on some of these Summer League players who may not get as much tick. Like, we have Victor Wembanyama, who's going to sit there and start for the Spurs. We know he's going to get tick. You have Scoot Henderson, who we know is going to get tick. Amen Thompson. Like, we could go down the list. Chet Holmgren. You have all these different names of players who are absolutely going to start and get the opportunity on these teams. But then you got Kenny Lofton, who's like, hey, this boy can hoop. And not only can he hoop, he's putting a lot of people in the basket. We might not see him. We're not going to see him in the starting lineup. So I want to take this time while it's the offseason to sit there and do that, put and shine some light on them, because I do think that there are some people in situations that are relatively good from a team perspective, winning perspective, but for where they are and how they're going to get the opportunity to showcase what they can do, maybe not so much. And Kenny Lofton Jr. is one of them. And again, I just want to shine light on that one, man. The boy is a bona fide bucket, but I want to hear what you think. Is he the next Zebo? Does he have the potential to come in and average 20 and 10 on a particular team? Could it be the Grizzlies? Is there another team that you would rather see him on so he can get the shine? Mind you, we are talking about the individual player. We're not talking about just the team. I want people to separate that because, again, that's what Summer League is. Some of these people in Summer League are literally using this as the opportunity to build their stock up so they can get into a more favorable situation either in their current organization or in another organization. And so you have to look at it from that perspective. As someone who likes the Grizzlies, I would love for them to give him a more prominent role. But the reality of it is that just may not happen. It may not fit what they're trying to do long term, but it doesn't mean they didn't draft well. It doesn't mean that he's not a beast. It doesn't mean he's not a good player. So there may be something where it's like they may have to move off of him to find a better opportunity. So let's just keep it a buck. Let's show love to the player. Where would we like to see it go? How would he fit if they got a more prominent role on the Grizzlies? Let's keep it a buck. Let's not make it just all negative about it. So whether it's love or hate, though, put it in the comments, man. I want to hear your thoughts on whether or not you think Kenny Lofton Jr. is next up. Till next time, man. Peace.